Houston Astros. Michael Brantley back in the batting order. He pinch hit in the game yesterday, did not start, and that was good news for the Blue Jays. Not so good this afternoon as he starts. He's always hit well against the Blue Jays. He's hit particularly well against it in this ballpark. Bregman is the 3-hitter. Alvarez, the young rookie, is the DH. Diaz is playing at first, and that lineup is all set to take on Wilmer Font,
who's hoping his September is as good as his August. What a month of August that Wilmer had as an opener. 8 appearances, all of it as an opener. 176 earned run average. He was around the plate. He had 24 strikeouts and just 5 walks all month long. He's really taken to this opener spot, and he's not your traditional opener where he's going to just throw the first inning. He'll throw 2 innings, usually all the way through the lineup for the first time, but he's been outstanding. Good fastball, good curveball, and an outstanding splitter.
Defensively behind Font, let's take a look at the way the thing sets up. And Drury was a late addition into left field.
Yeah, Derek Fisher was a late scratch, so Brandon Drury will get the start today in left field, his 8th start in left field. He's also made starts at first, second, third, short, left field for short, and right field. Now getting some direction from the bench where to play Altuve.
Here is Altuve. He's leading off, as we mentioned, for the 8th time. Font is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's up and away for a ball, and we are underway. It is 19 degrees outside at 66 Fahrenheit. We mentioned it's raining here in Toronto, so the roof is closed. Pretty good pitch. He didn't get the call. It's 2-0.
I think that has really helped Wilmer Font as a opener. He's just been able to use his fastball. He uses it just a little bit more as the opener. And he's got a good fastball. He can pound that strike zone with it and set up those off-speed pitches.
Altuve out in front of that pitch. Boy, when he can look for a fastball, he is dangerous. 3 for 10 in the series so far for the Astros second baseman. He's got a 15-game reaching base streak on the line. Alex Bregman in the 3rd spot has reached base in 24 straight games.
Hits for a high average. You can see right there on that 8-game hit streak, but he's hit for power like everybody else in baseball.
He went around, called for the swing. Paul Emmels, the home plate umpire this afternoon. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the leadoff man. Font is 29 years old. He's making his 9th appearance as an opener, and he has pitched very well in that role, as Pat mentioned. Breaking ball, and it's a hanger that was bounced foul at home plate.
Don't throw it up there because Altuve can hit that one. He came into this series up over 300, top 10 in all of baseball, hitting those high pitches. I think he's a great bad ball hitter.
Yeah, he does not have to hit a strike. He can hit things off the plate, outside, inside, and up, as you mentioned. 2-2. He laid off that high hitter. It's a full count. Michael Brantley is on deck. As we mentioned, he did not start in the game yesterday. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning and popped out. Breaking ball pulled foul. Well, we have talked about this all weekend long, how the Astros just don't strike out. They've got a bunch of good hitters. They've got a powerful lineup, and the exception is they don't strike out. They put the bat on the ball.
It's a lot like the Boston Red Sox last year. Remember their lineup? They were stacked from 1 to 9 offensively, and they didn't strike out a lot either. Houston puts the bat on the ball, makes it a little bit tougher for the defense.
Ground ball right to the shortstop, Bichette. Altuve is retired, 1 away. Bo Bichette has exceeded expectations defensively at shortstop. No question about it. He's played very well on the field.
I know his coach is very happy with what he has seen so far from Bichette. His range is a little bit better than what we were told. His arm's a little bit better.
And you can see Luis Rivera keeping a close eye on all these infielders, making sure they're in the right position. Teoscar Hernandez not in the lineup today. Kind of interesting because he's 3 for 4 against Justin Verlander. Here's Michael Brantley, as we mentioned. He takes the first pitch down and in for ball 1. First week of September, first day of September, and as the month of September opens up, a lot of playoff implication games going on all around baseball. There's a breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1.
Font will drop that little curveball in there at times. That really sets up the fastball. And they've hit 182 against him as an opener, but it's taken him almost 19 pitches an inning to get through that inning. He'll try a little bit of everything, do a little bit of that, but he always ends up getting those outs.
There's a good high fastball. Font jumps ahead of Brantley 1-2.
You were mentioning, as you see Bunzitsky taking his outfield, he's trying to get the attention, it looks like, of Brandon Drury, and now he's got him in left field, moving him a little bit more towards the line.
Off-speed pitch, and Brantley strikes out. 2 up, 2 down for Font here in the first.
That's the splitter right there. I told you it's been outstanding for him since he's become that opener. He can set it up with everything else and then throw that splitter right in there. Outstanding as he finished him off. They're hitting 120 against that split finger fastball.
2 down, Alex Bregman steps in. As we mentioned, Bregman's got a 24-game on-base streak. Pretty impressive numbers for Bregman during that streak. He's got a .481 on-base percentage with 29 ribbies. He had an unusual line yesterday in the game. He finished up officially 0 for 1, but he reached base 3 times with 3 walks, had a sacrifice fly, and had a bases loaded walk. He drove in 2 runs.
That's nothing new. He's walked more than he has struck out. He's walked 23 more times than he struck out. I mean, is there a more perfect number 3 hitter that you want in your lineup? Good average, .290. Good on-base percentage at .412. Power, 32 homers. He's got 94 RBIs.
John Schneider is talking to the newest Blue Jay. That's Bo Taylor, who was just added to the roster. He's a catcher, and John Schneider, of course, is going over the signs, going over the communication they have with the catcher. He'll serve as a 3rd catcher on this team. Bo Taylor has been around a little bit, but he has not been with this big club with the Blue Jays. Came up from Buffalo. This is down the right side, but that's going to slice foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and number 3 hitter, Alex Bregman. Bregman has hit in the top 4 spots in the batting order for Houston all season long. And he's just that kind of hitter. He can hit anywhere you want to hit him in the lineup. Ball in the dirt. Bregman hitting ahead of Yordan Alvarez, the terrific rookie for Houston. Full count, 2 outs. Popped him up back behind home, but that'll be over the screen. Well out of play. Ray Buchholz was good in his start yesterday, breaking things down for Pete Walker. Buchholz 2 runs on 3 hits over 5 2/3. Breaking ball, and Bregman takes a walk. He had 3 walks yesterday, as we mentioned. And here is Yordan Alvarez, one of the bright spots all around baseball. Alvarez has really done a great job since coming up to the big leagues. He has 232 at-bats, hitting .319, and he's been a very good run producer.
Where would he be if he started the season with this team like Pete Alonso did with the New York Mets, who's way out in front with 101 RBIs, but Yordan Alvarez came up June the 9th, and he has hit, and he hasn't stopped hitting. Blue Jays have handled him in this series so far. Couple of walks and an infield hit. That's about it.
That guy got off to a good start as he caught a ball and made a nice catch. delighted this crowd here early on. 0-1. Now it's 0-2. Pat mentioned the fact that Font has thrown a lot of pitches. He is, as an opener, he's thrown 21 pitches in this inning.
This is a typical inning for him, you know. Work around that walk, have a few strikeouts. He struck out Brantley. That'll jump that pitch count up, but he's big and strong and he can handle it. Took him 30 pitches to get through Atlanta when he opened against them a couple of days ago.
Struck him out. Another splitter. A very good pitch as Font gets a couple of strikeout runs. Blue Jays trying to win the series here this afternoon. Justin Smoke hitting .216 for the season. But he's hit very well against Justin Verlander, the Astros starter, including a double, 3 home runs, and 7 ribbies in 23 at-bats. Rowdy Tellez is the DH. Grichuk, McKinney, Drury, and Reese McGuire round out the Blue Jays lineup.
Here's your leading candidate for the 2019 Cy Young Award. He leads the majors in WHIP, opponent's batting average of just .172 in those 28 starts. He's made 67 regular season starts for Houston since they picked him up. He's won 37 of them. I mean, he has been dominant, just exactly what the Astros were looking for when they traded for him.
A couple of years ago, they traded for him just before that trade deadline hit, and he has been everything they had hoped. Well, Bichette goes after that high fastball, the ball on the strike.
Bo's been facing some future Hall of Famers the last couple of weeks.
Yes, he has. And it hasn't phased him one bit. He's hitting .338. Had a couple of more hits in yesterday's game. 2 for 5 in that game yesterday afternoon.
Well, he took care of Clayton Kershaw, hit a couple of home runs against him. Hit a home run against Felix Hernandez, who looks like a future Hall of Famer. Now he gets the big boy today, Verlander.
29th start of the season for Verlander. There's that breaking ball as Bichette gets a piece of it to stay alive. Verlander is 2-1 in his 5 previous starts here at Rogers Center. Very good ERA at .324. Of course, he threw his second career no-hitter right here against the Blue Jays in May of 2011. The only batter that reached in that game, J.P. Arancibia, drew a walk. There's another hard slider, and Bichette strikes out, one away. Defensively behind Verlander, up the middle, it's Bregman and Altuve, and there's been a change over at first base. Aledmus Diaz is playing first this afternoon.
Yeah, just like the Blue Jays had a late scratch, the Houston Astros had a late scratch. Yuli Gurriel scratched after he got hit last night, so Aledmus Diaz will get the start over at first base. Originally, he was at third base to start this game. He's had starts at first, second, third, short, and left field, so he's been just like Brandon Drury's been, a kind of a jack-of-all-trades kind of guy, defensively and offensively for this team.
That means he's had to fill in at shortstop. He's played some third base, and now he's playing at first base for the 10th time this season. Here's Cavan Biggio. Biggio has homered in back-to-back games for the first time in his young career.
What was impressive about the home run yesterday, the exit velocity, 104. Trying to make some adjustments in that swing and trying to get the ball being a little bit more aggressive.
He's had a good homestand. He's 6 for 13 in the homestand with a pair of doubles and 2 homers. He's also drawn 5 walks. It's been a real strength of his. Lays off that outside pitch. It's 3-0.
He just recognizes those pitches so early, and he's able to lay off. I mean, not even check swing. When was the last time you saw a check swing from Cavan Biggio?
No, he doesn't do that very often. When he swings, it's pretty sure that it's going to be a pretty good pitch to hit. Vladdy Guerrero waits on deck. It's a 3-0 count to Biggio. Taking all the way. Verlander, if you wanted to pick apart his season, it's hard to do that. But one thing he has done, given up a lot of home runs. He's tied for second in home runs allowed in the American League. He has given up 33 home runs. But Brent Strom, the pitching coach, is not worried about that. Biggio squared the bunt, takes ball 4. Pat mentioned what a great acquisition Justin Verlander has been for Houston, and boy, his numbers really back it up.
Well, look at these. There's the starts. I mentioned the 67. He's won 37 of those games. Great numbers all the way around. He lead the majors in wins over that time. Innings pitched, the strikeouts, opponent's batting average, and he's third in earned run average of 248. So you're looking for a number one guy, a guy that you know who's going to start game one in the playoffs. You found it in Verlander. You got him from Detroit.
Verlander's very quick off the mound over to first base. Gavin got picked off in the game at first base on Friday night. Wade Miley with a terrific pickoff move picked him off in the first inning after a walk. Vladdy Guerrero takes it upstairs for ball one. Guerrero's off to quite a second half. He's hit .358 over his last 36 games. He's got 5 hits in the homestand, 5 for 15.
I think one of the things that he has shown, you mentioned the great batting average, is he's hitting the ball all over the place, and I think the defense reflects it. First of all, the outfield. You can't be more straight up than that in the outfield, left, center, and right. And on the infield, they were playing him to pull. They would play 3 guys on the left side, but you can see Altuve, the second baseman, over on the first base side, almost straight away everywhere. That's a reflection of a guy who can hit the ball wherever it's pitched.
Look out. That bat flies off that screen. It looked like Derek Fisher. He was quick to react. Not sure where that bat was going to end up, but he bailed out in a hurry and got out onto the warning track.
Fisher was scratched because of an ankle. He said he hurt his ankle on that great catch in the first inning, and now he's got to use those legs to get out of the way because here it comes.
Moved pretty quick there.
He looked good there. Hazel, are you okay? I just want to make sure Hazel's all right.
I am okay. A little bit of a shock there for a minute, but I really need to pay better attention, close attention, when Vlad is there at the plate.
Absolutely. You are close to the action, Hazel.
Just hide behind Martin down there. Martin will take care of you.
2 balls and a strike on Guerrero. 1 out with Biggio at first. Fouled straight back. We got 2 of the best rookies in the American League in this game with Yordan Alvarez and Vladdy Guerrero. Guerrero leads American League rookies in hits with 107. He's first in doubles with 23. Second in extra base hits with 39.
Can I add to that? I think we have 3 really good rookies. I was reading an article today about if the rookie of the year was voted on right now, Alvarez will be first. Bichette and Guerrero will be second and third. And I can't argue with that. I mean, Bo's made such an exciting start to his career.
Guerrero reaches for that ball. Toro, the third baseman, throws right on the money to retire, Vladdy. Yeah, you're right. The only factor is for Bichette, he hasn't been here very long.
That's right. That's right. He'll probably get 2 months in the big leagues. Vladdy, of course, a little bit longer because he came up at the end of April. But he's made such an impact with everybody. I mean, his name is starting to get thrown out there for getting a vote or 2 for Rookie of the Year.
Kevin Biggio, of course, grew up around the Astros. His father, Craig Biggio, the great Hall of Famer, played his entire career in Houston. So Justin Smoke steps in with a man in scoring position. Smokey's done some damage against Justin Verlander. He's got 6 hits in 23 at-bats, but 3 of those hits are home runs. Verlander hasn't beaten the Jays since 2013. He's 0-4 with a .607 earned run average in his last 5 starts against Toronto. You see, they always play Smoke in that shift. Or the lone defender over at third.
Blue Jays saw him back in 2018, and they beat him then. 4 runs and on 7 hits and 6 2/3 innings. This guy's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. The Blue Jays have had a lot of success against him lately.
Verlander's hot right now. He is 6-1 with a 2.04 earned run average in his last 9 starts. He struck out Bo Bichette to start this game. And now he's just 6 strikeouts away from joining Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, Max Scherzer, and Roger Clemens as the only pitchers with at least 5 seasons of 250 or more strikeouts. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, easily. He's bearing down on 3,000 strikeouts also. I think he's got 50 more to go to get to that.
Well, waves at that breaking ball.
You know, and you talk about over his last 9 starts, he hadn't walked a batter in his last 24 innings until that 4-pitch walk to Gavin Biggio. That broke that streak of base on balls. 24 straight innings.
He's only had 8 walks in his 10 starts, including this game. Blue Jays had 9 walks in the game yesterday as a team. And they also hit a batter. Inside. Another full count. 20 pitches for Verlander here in the first. Rowdy Tellez will bat him. Smoke can reach base. Velez, the DH, has never faced Verlander. Gavin Biggio drew a walk. He's at second base. Strike 3 called. Smoke checked his swing. He's called out. A couple of strikeouts for Verlander. The Blue Jays will leave a runner in scoring position. Scoreless after an inning here at Rogers Center.
The series in Tampa, possibly on Thursday. So good news on the Lourdes Gurriel Jr. front. Buck.
And sure is, Hazel. The Blue Jays obviously need him back. They want to see him back in lineup, finish up with a healthy month of September. This is Aledmus Diaz, takes first pitch strike. He is playing at first base this afternoon. He has 1 for 4 in this series with an RBI. Waits back on that breaking ball and rips it to left. Drury hustling over to play it back into the infield. Diaz is headed for second. Here's the throw. It is not in time. Hard slide into the base at second. And Diaz may have jammed his ankle. He really slid hard into that bag. Biggio put the tag on him, but it was just a tad late.
Who was that? Danny Jansen in the outfield there? You see Brandon Drury's got the glasses on to pick up that ball. You can't make a better throw than what Drury did. You see he's got the glasses on. He goes over there, hustles over there, backhands the ball, sets himself in a beautiful one-hop right on the bag. Diaz, that straight leg slide, get the leg down, and he's on the bag, and he never came off the bag either.
You can see his left foot appeared to get twisted as he slid hard into that base. Those bases are hard. They're rubber, but man, it's hard when you hit that hard.
They don't move.
This is Abraham Toro, the Canadian from Quebec. Played in the game yesterday and had a lot of family and friends here. He finished up 4 with a strikeout in that game yesterday. He was not in the original lineup, but when they scratched Yuli Gurriel with that elbow injury, they put him at third and moved Diaz across the diamond to first. Toro's mother, grandmother, and sister are all here, along with some cousins as well. A lot of people have made the trip over from Montreal to watch this weekend series. I spoke to Abraham on Friday and congratulated him for being here, and he said, yeah, it's great to be back. He played in the tournament 12 for 2 years here, representing Quebec, and played against Josh Naylor and Mike Soroka, a couple other big leaguers that have advanced out of that tournament 12.
He was just 16 and 17 years old when he was here for that tournament 12.
He strikes out on a high fastball. That's 3 strikeouts for Font.
Rake in the deals during Home Hardware's Fall Savings Sale. On now till September 18th. only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Junior Jay's weekend here is back to school weekend, and a lot of kids are looking forward to going to school on Tuesday. Here's Josh Reddick. Goes after the first pitch, and he's late on that fastball. Reddick is back in right field. He started the game yesterday in left field. You go back and forth. Michael Brantley did not start the game yesterday, so Reddick began the ball game playing in left field. He picked up an outfield assist in the third inning when he threw out Vladimir Guerrero trying to go first to third.
You mentioned Wilmer's got 3 strikeouts. His strikeout percentage goes up in the first 2 innings. I mean, this opener thing, Charlie Montoya said that it really fits the type of pitcher that he is. And they saw that when he was with Tampa Bay. His fastball miles per hour go up. All of his numbers go up. Batting average down, strikeout percentage up. Just small sample sizes. And then get out and get a bulk guy in there, but he's been good.
Now, it's really advantageous for a pitcher that doesn't have a wide assortment of pitches just to work a couple of innings, maybe one time through the order. Fastball, splitter, primarily what you're going to get from Font.
You'll get a curveball and slider. He has both of those pitches. That might have been the
slider there.
Slider right there. That he was way out in front. But I think mentally you say to yourself, hey, I've got 1 inning, maybe 2 innings. I can empty the tank right here and just give it everything I got. It's early in the game. If I make a mistake, or my team can come back. But he's been good.
After that last pitch, I would throw a splitter right here. He was looking for that fastball and way ahead of the slider. Diaz had a big secondary lead at second. I think Reese McGuire said, hold on a minute.
Boy, what a heads
keep
up,
an eye on him.
What a heads-up play by Reese behind the plate. Saw Diaz getting that big lead.
Fastball off the end of the bat.
I'm with you. I'd throw that splitter. And that's what he got Alvarez with, a good hard splitter. Much better to lefties. It's almost like you got a big window to shoot for against left-handers.
Another fastball, and Reddick's hanging tough. Reese McGuire does a nice job behind the plate as he will read what a hitter's trying to do. He'll have all the pregame information, go over the scouting report, and try to figure out what's working for his pitcher on a given day. But he always makes some in-game adjustments that seem to work pretty effectively. Going to go over another set of signs as Font didn't like the first 2 offerings.
Wilmer's got a pitch on his mind right now. Now Reese has got to get on the same page. Still hasn't found it.
Now there's set. And a number out in front of home plate. Font will go to first. Reddick's retired. That might have been the splitter right there. On the plate, Diaz moves over to third.
I think it was. And there it is. Proof. Splitter. Right off the end of the bat. Look at the baseball.
He knocked the chunk out of it. Sam Gaviglio is loosening up After Fun is going to face the 8th hitter in this lineup. Wilmer has thrown 36 pitches to this point. He's got 2 outs and a man at third. Robinson Chirinos started on Friday night, came into the game yesterday as a defensive replacement. Goes after that high heater and swings right through it. It's 0-2.
Great fastball. Now, if you throw that splitter, you got to have a lot of confidence in your catcher that he's going to block it if you throw it in the dirt.
Another high fastball hit to left field, not deep. Brandon Drury comes in. Another good performance by Wilmer Fine as he opens it up. He allows just 1 hit over 2 innings and strikes out 3.
Here, they took him off the roster. He signed with Tampa Bay. He fit in Zach Greinke in that one. Another one of their top-notch starters. So you want to win, you better build a pitching staff. It makes your job a lot easier if you're the manager.
You got to build the pitching staff with starting pitching. Here's Rowdy Tellez. He lays off that high pitch. Take a look at the National League. There are 3 Dodgers in the ERA race in the top 10. Hyun-Jin Ryu, Clayton Kershaw, and Walker Buehler. They're 1st, 7th, and 8th.
And who has the best record in the National League?
The Dodgers.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, you can talk all you want to about openers, but give me starting pitching every single day. Here's Rowdy Tellez, as we mentioned, ball on the strike on the DH. Tellez goes after that slider, and it's hit high, but well foul. Verlander had an abbreviated outing last time out. He pitched 5 1/3 scoreless against the Rays on Tuesday, and then he was ejected. He didn't like the strike zone, let the umpire know, and the umpire tossed him out of that game. Upstairs, Pat, we saw Verlander when he first came to the big leagues with the Tigers, and he has certainly changed his approach a bit in that he's throwing a lot more 4-seam fastballs top of the zone.
And that probably has something to do with Houston over here, but he's using his slider a little bit more this year, and he's using his changeup a little bit more this year.
There's a fastball, and Tellez strikes out. That's 3 strikeouts for Verlander. We mentioned Verlander was ejected in his last start on Tuesday, and here's the sequence that led to that ejection. Tommy Pham is the hitter, and he thought that was a strike, and then Pham gets a base hit. Verlander lets the umpire know, hey, he should have been out. Previous pitch was a strike. And you can see the coaching staff, the other umpires intervening. But Verlander, after the game, said, hey, you know, I told him I didn't think it was a good pitch. He called a bad ball on me, and I said my piece, turned around, and then he got thrown out. That's what he was upset about.
You know what that did? It stopped a streak by him getting thrown out of that game in the 6th inning. It stopped a streak of 7 consecutive games by Verlander where he struck out double digits. How about that?
7 straight games with double-digit strikeouts. Randall
Up,
Grichuk takes it upstairs. It's 1-2.
he ended up with just 4 against Tampa Bay, but he did win his 16th game of the season. Stuck around long enough for the W.
Verlander hasn't won 17 games since 2012. And there's a hard slider for another strikeout. 4 strikeouts so far for the hard-throwing righty.
Well, you mentioned all the strikeouts, and he's on his way to 3,000. He picked up 200 this season earlier this year, and now has 9 seasons of at least 200 strikeouts in a season. just the 7th player who can say that ever in the history of the game, having 7 seasons of at least 200 strikeouts.
Here's Billy McKinney, the right fielder, takes the first pitch strike. Many of these Blue Jays are facing Verlander for the first time, including Billy McKinney.
I shortchanged him. He's the 7th pitcher to have at least 9 seasons of at least 200 strikeouts. I guess you could guess who the leader is, who's had the most 200 strikeout seasons in the history of baseball. You could probably guess.
Hard throwing right-hander?
Yeah, from Texas.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan.
15.
In an era where people didn't strike out. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-2 to Billy McKinney. Young Blue Jays getting their first look at one of the best pitchers over the last 15 seasons. And they're all trying to put their heads together, figure out how to solve Justin Verlander. Breaking ball pulled foul by McKinney. Houston as a team leads American League in strikeouts. There are only 3 teams in the American League with over 1,300 strikeouts as a team. Verlander has 4 strikeouts today, so now the Astros have 1,380 strikeouts as a team. Boston second, Tampa Bay is third. There's a drive to right field. That's going to hang up for Reddick. Another easy inning for Justin Verlander. 3 up, 3 down. Naval personnel in training as the Royal Canadian Navy Strategic Recruiting Advisor in Ottawa. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud to salute all the brave men and women of the Canadian Forces who serve our country every day. Congratulations to Petty Officer First Class Hewitt. They could wag us back after to present Petty Officer Hewitt with his jersey, and we have a new pitcher for the Blue Jays. Sam Gavilia will take over in the 3rd.
Sam will come in after Wilmer Font threw 2 shutout innings. Sam originally was part of the Cardinals organization. He made his big league debut with Seattle right here against the Blue Jays back in 2017. Blue Jays picked him up from Kansas City. He's served a very valuable role for the Blue Jays coming out of that bullpen.
He throws 1 pitch and retires Jake Marisnick on a grounder to shortstop. You and I had a chance to visit with Sammy this morning talking about some of the adjustments he's made. He's made a little adjustment with his grip on his slider. And his 2-seam fastball has always been a great pitch for him, but he's just always tinkering, always trying to get better, and he's made that adjustment with his slider.
He shifted the ball a little bit in his fingers, and he moved it back in his hand. He said he didn't feel like he had a really strong grip on that 2-seamer, so he shifted it back into his hand a little bit more, grabbing it with those fingers, and he said it's really worked. He's really starting to get the dive on that 2-seam fastball again.
Jose Altuve is 3 for 9 against Gavilia. Altuve grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Two balls and no strikes. Altuve leading off. No George Springer to start this game. Springer has been the leadoff hitter 101 times this year. This is just the 8th time that Altuve has hit top of the order. But Springer getting the day off today. Ground ball pulled to the 3rd baseman. Nice backhand by Guerrero. But once he gets it in his glove, it's academic. He has a very true, strong throwing arm.
That was a difficult play just because of where it was hit, how it was hit, and who was running. To the backhand, the short hop Guerrero gets over there and softly catches it. Smother that ball. He's been working with that with Luis Rivera about smothering that backhand. He picks it, and you're right, with that good arm, it's an easy play. A little pat on the back from Teoscar to his coach.
Way to go, Louis. You're doing a good job on that infield. And Michael Brantley, he takes the first pitch strike. Brantley struck out on a splitter from Wilmer Font his first time up. Well, when Gaviglio is on his game, he is really working the corners, both sides of the plate.
He's got a split grip type of changeup that he will use. He'll throw the slider, and he's got that fastball that he can throw to either side of the plate. Against the lefties, he's locked them up a lot of times when he comes inside with it.
Ground ball, Bichette goes to first. Quick inning for Sam Gaviglio. He needs just 7 pitches to retire the side in order. His first inning of relief.
It was a night he really had to grind it out, but
Hazel, that's very good, and he actually picked up his first win into the season, his first win since last August, and that was just his seventh start of the season. He went 5 2/3, 2 runs on 3 hits. He walked 5, but those double plays helped him out. And then Drury goes after that breaking ball, fouls it off.
He must be a good captain of a ship, because he navigated that lineup extremely well yesterday.
Boy, did he ever.
Boy.
And like he said, there's just no rest spots in that lineup. You look at the top, you look at the bottom, you think, okay, well, I can get through this part of the lineup. Not the case with Houston.
Tried a lot of 3-2 changeups and said, you know what, I'm going to throw it. If they swing and miss, and on that highlights right there, we saw a lot of swing and miss on those changeups. If we end up walking them, I'll start all over with the guy behind them, because there's so many hitters in that lineup that can hurt you. I'll start the next guy with a new count, and we'll do it again.
Verlander missed with that fastball up and away. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Brandon Drury. Slider down and away. Verlander is now 36 years old. We mentioned he came to the big leagues for the first time in 2005 with the Tigers. Got in just 2 games, made 2 starts late in the season. The next year, his rookie season, he won 17 games and won the American League Rookie of the Year award. And from there, it just got better. 18 wins in 2007, 19 in 2009, and a career-high 24 in 2011.
That was the Cy Young year, wasn't it?
Cy Young in 2011. He led the league in wins, win percentage, ERA, innings pitched, games started, strikeouts, and ERA plus. His ERA plus was 172. 72% better than the American League. Drury's battling tough. Here's the 2-2 pitch in the air on the infield. Ledmus Diaz, the first baseman, calls for it. Drury's retired, 1 away. Let's take a look at Verlander this season, where he ranks in the American League. He's first in ERA, first in innings pitched, first in opponent's batting average, first in WHIP, and he's second in strikeouts to his teammate, Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, that's the ace, the definition of an ace. Last year, he threw 214 innings. He had his highest strikeout total in a season in his career.
290 strikeouts in 214 innings. Here's Reese McGuire. Comes into this game batting an even 300. 15 for 50 since coming up from Buffalo.
So he came that close to striking out 300 batters. The last guy to strike out 300 batters, Max Scherzer did it last year. Chris Sale did it in 2017. Clayton Kershaw did it in 2015. I mean, that's almost unheard of anymore, right? 300 strikeouts in one season.
Yeah, that used to be the standard. Great pitchers always shot for 300 strikeouts in a season. Now 250 is that same high plateau. Fouled straight back, another high fastball. Boy, he's worked up in the zone first time through the order.
He will do that with the fastball. Doesn't throw as hard as he did when he was younger, but he makes good use of that fastball. Throws it up. Gets a lot of strikeouts with that high fastball.
Another pop-up. Toro, the third baseman, was in the shift. He's in the outfield to make the catch. Reese McGuire's retired. A couple of pop-outs for Verlander here in the third.
They have stats for everything. We've talked about that before. Whiff percentage with the fastball. He's third in all of baseball. Striking out 30% of the batters with that fastball.
The live virtual strike zone brought to you by Rogers Ignite Wi-Fi Hub. The power to control your Wi-Fi connected devices. Here's Bo Bichette batting with 2 outs. There's one of the rare fastballs he's thrown down in the zone.
That one looked like it had a little sink to it, didn't it?
95. He hasn't lost a lot off his ear. It was fouled right back. Looked like it hit the umpire, didn't it? Looked like it hit him in the right arm. Good fastball.
He didn't act like it did.
No. Watch where this ball goes. The foul ball off the bat of Bichette. Hit him right in the arm. He never even flinched.
That's old school right there.
Paul Emmel, my hero, man. I mean, there was very any recognition or acknowledgement whatsoever that he got hit. He got smoked by that foul ball. Lots of kids here. This final Blue Jays. This is the back to school Blue Jays weekend. Fastball upstairs. If you were going to go to the drawing board and draw up a perfect frame for a pitcher, you might draw up Justin Verlander. 6'5", 225. He's a man.
Big, strong legs, a loose arm. That's the thing that impresses me, how loose that arm is.
He strikes out Bichette for his second time by strikeouts. For Verlander, after a very good first inning of relief, he took over after the opener. Wilmer Font pitched 2 good innings. Gaviglio needed just 7 pitches to retire the side in order. So it'll be Bregman, Alvarez, and Diaz, 3, 4, and 5 in the Astros lineup. Alex Bregman walked his first time up. That extends his streak to 25 straight games of reaching base.
He's also one of 9 players with 30 homers and 30 doubles this year. Great power, and I love doubles because you hit it. You hit the ball from foul line to foul line when you hit that many doubles.
This is popped up into shallow right field. McKinney is there, and Bregman is retired. When we saw the Astros in June, we had a chance to visit with Alex Bregman. He says, my doubles are down. I've got to get my doubles up. He was very aware of that. He said, you know what, you're really swinging the bat well when you hit a lot of doubles.
You're hitting line drives and you're staying in the middle of the diamond. So they're up this year. He's got 30 of them to go along with those 32 home runs.
Here's Jordan Alvarez. Alvarez struck out against Font back in the first inning.
The Jays are going to shift against the big slugger. 21 home runs. Got that great shot right there of Sam Gaviglio where he stands on the mound. You can see he's way over on the first base side of that pitching rubber. And I asked him today why that is. He says, I've been doing that since high school.
Bichette positioned perfectly, takes the hot shot and throws Alvarez out. That's an interesting statement. Doing that from high school, he's never changed that position.
I found that interesting. I go, high school? Now, why would you start in high school? He said, my high school field had giant holes right in. You know how guys would like pitch and then rub out all the dirt and there'd be a big hole there? He said, over there, I felt there was some flat ground. So I started doing it in high school and I felt real good about it. I've never changed.
Nobody ever pitched on that side of the river in this high school. So he said, I'll take this corner. It's worked for him. He can really paint both corners. Leonidas Diaz, he's got the only hit in this ball game. He had a leadoff double in the second.
I thought it might have had something to do with his ability to hit that outside corner to right-handers. You know, you just line up just a little bit better. You're not thrown across your body or anything like that. And he says, no, I just feel really comfortable. You just have to be able to engage yourself with the pitching rubber. That's all. It doesn't matter where. Just make sure you touch it before you let go of the baseball. It has worked for him.
Just off the plate, 3 balls and a strike. Oh, Paul Emmel barking at the Blue Jays dugout. Somebody must have said, hey, where was that pitch? And he turned and said it was outside. Little roller up the third baseline, a little foul. Did you ever have any good bench jockeys on your team?
Always. There was always somebody who could yell and then never get caught.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like that secret little holler out there and then turn the other way. Nobody could see him.
or the guy'd be sitting next to me yelling and screaming at the umpire, and then when the umpire would look at the bench, he would look at me. Like
you're the one that said that.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I didn't say anything.
And Edmonds Diaz strikes out, 6 up, 6 down, retired by Sam Gavilia. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th still and come on out for the final Looney Dogs night, September 10th, and here at Rogers Center. No score as we hit to the bottom of the 4th inning. Justin Verlander drops that curveball just low to Kevin Biggio. Biggio drew a walk. He's the only Blue Jays base runner so far in this game.
We still haven't thrown him a strike. Tried to get him to fish on that first pitch breaking ball. That's not happening.
Boy, Verlander's got such good rhythm, such good tempo. I mean, everything is together. You know, you hear hitters talk about it all the time. Well, my rhythm is off, my tempo is off, I'm not set, my timing is off. Verlander's got terrific timing today.
I love his wind-up, how compact it is and how everything works together. Really gets the ball out of his glove quickly so his arm can get up and out and up to work with his lower half. He had a couple of years where he was down. I remember talking to him in spring training, and he was saying he was hurt. I mean, he had some arm problems where he just couldn't extend.
Strike 3 called, the delayed call by the home plate umpire, but that's another strikeout. That's 6 strikeouts now for Verlander.
And he can extend now. Gets the ball out of the glove very quickly. There's the extension, and watch how he powers that fastball right on the outside corner for another strikeout, number 6 already.
249 strikeouts for the season for Verlander. I hit the umpire again?
Yeah.
And he never even moves. Paul, you're my hero, man.
Yeah.
Taking a couple of shots today, one in the shoulder, one in the arm, and you don't even flinch.
Robinson Chirinos was turning around to make sure he was okay. Right off the shoulder pad, and Chirinos was like, hey, you all right? Hey, you all right? Don't worry about me. Here's the baseball. Throw it back. And I love it.
That one got Chirinos. What's going on? We're having a rough day here, Paul. Huh? You get hit a couple of times now. I've been hit. We got to take care of each other. This one rocks the catcher. You got that hockey-style mask, and Emil makes sure that he doesn't fall over. You get rocked on your heels when you get so hit squarely like he did. The shape of Verlander's slider has been terrific today. It's very short and very tight. And I would imagine the spin on it's very much like the spin on his fastball. Tough to differentiate between fastball and slider when that spin is so tight.
It's been up a long time, and I remember when he first came up, fastball, more curveball, right? More fastball, more curveball. Then he got that changeup. He was able to throw that over at any time to go along with the good fastball command, the breaking ball. The slider looks a little bit different than the breaking ball that he had when he was with Detroit.
Hot shot hit to third. Toro has it. Strong throw in time. 2 away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Hunter Wendelstedt will have to teach that move in his umpiring school in the offseason. Got to get out of the way of the throws, too. Here's Justin Smoak. He was called out on strikes in the first inning. Twenty home runs for Smoak. He's the first Blue Jays switch hitter in franchise history with 3 seasons of 20 or more home runs. He was tied with Jose Cruz Jr. and Kendrys Morales with 2 such seasons. And as is the case all the time, they play him in the shift.
Some teams play him 4-man outfield with nobody on base. 3 infielders on the right side, 4 men in the outfield. It's a lot of fly balls. And that's what you want from a power hitter.
I don't think I would do that with Verlander on the mound.
Play 4 outfielders?
Yeah. Just because I wouldn't want to upset Justin Verlander.
Oh, great point. Great point. Because you're saying,
yeah, he's going to
make contact.
Yeah. No, just play it the way it is. Verlander will take care of the rest. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in a scoreless game. Bottom of the 4th inning. 3rd and final game of this 3-game set against Houston. Another strikeout. That's 250 strikeouts on the season. The 5th time Verlander has recorded 250 strikeouts. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell. It was a Star Wars night on Friday night, so those astronauts have stayed over for the weekend.
They are obviously Astros fans. They're obviously, well, they sure look like it from out of town. How'd they get those things in their suitcase?
They made big plans, and there have been a lot of Astro fans here, of course. Toronto's a great destination for visiting teams and their fans to come here. You know you're going to play the game. You got a roof, and you can make plans for any time your team plays here. As Toro strikes out for a 2nd time, good breaking ball gets him. 2nd strikeout for Gaviglio. Sam has retired all 7 batters he's faced. We have seen him do this early in the season. He did it for 4 innings against Oakland. Retired 12 in a row.
Yeah, he was saying today that he feels really good right now. He's locked into where they have him pitching out of the bullpen. He really enjoys pitching out of the pen.
He has worked hard at his craft, and he's one of those guys that's always had to be pinpoint with his command, trying to improve on the quality of his pitches all the time. And he gets this pop-up off the bat of Josh Reddick. Matty Guerrero calls for it. 3rd baseman makes the catch near the bag at 2nd, 2 away.
Ranking the deals during Home Hardware's Fall Savings Sale. On now till September 18th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Back to school weekend here at Rogers Center. Lots of activities before the game outside. Lots going on inside as the kids have been entertained all weekend long. Blue Jays will go down to Atlanta after this game and play tomorrow afternoon against the Braves. It all starts at 12:30 with the pregame show. Hazel May will be the hostess for that show. Hazel not wanting to go down to Atlanta with that hurricane looming off the coast.
I don't blame her. Plus, it's hot. It's going to be smoking down in Atlanta.
Arash Madani will be our sideline reporter tomorrow. Slider off the plate, 1-1 now to the catcher, Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos has had a nice career. Started out with Tampa Bay, played for Texas, and of course the Blue Jays saw him in the playoffs when those two teams met. Back-to-back seasons, and he goes after that breaking ball. Chirinos is now 35 years old. This is his 8th season in the big leagues. Came up for the first time in the big leagues in 2011, got into 20 games with Tampa Bay. Then he spent 6 years with the Texas Rangers.
Can hit a fastball. That's why you have to throw him a lot of breaking balls. He's having a good year. He's got 15 home runs.
He had a home run against the Blue Jays in the 2015 ALDS. He was 3 for 11 with a home run and 3 RBIs in that series. 2-2 pitch. Sam missed his spot, left it inside.
That looked like his splitter, something that he's changing the grip with a little bit. Said he's going to dig that thing down in there just a little bit more. I was having trouble getting a feel for that split change. There it is right there. You can see it slipped out of his hands and it ended up inside.
There's a slider for a strikeout. Oh, what an outing for Sam Gaviglio. He's retired 9 in a row. Now the Blue Jays hitters, they've got to figure out. Justin Verlander, Rowdy Tellez will lead things off, followed by Randall Grichuk and Billy McKinney. The Blue Jays have had just one base. Hard to believe hockey season is just around the corner. The NFL starts on Thursday. College football is underway, and we are in September in the baseball season. Rowdy Tellez takes the first pitch slider for his strike. Justin Verlander's have everything working. There have only been 3 base runners in this whole game. Alex Bregman walked. Ledmus Diaz doubled. Kevin Biggio walked. That's it.
1 hit. That was that leadoff doubler by Ledmus Diaz, and they couldn't bring him around.
Verlander has 7 strikeouts through 4 innings. A lot of these young Blue Jay hitters getting their first look at Justin Verlander. And Rowdy Tellez strikes out. That's 8 strikeouts for Verlander. First out of the bottom of the 5th.
Second time that he's gotten Rowdy. That time he gets him to chase. Told you that he gets that whiff percentage with the fastball 1/3 of the time. This time he's going to elevate it about letter high. And you can see from that expression, Rowdy upset with himself that he chased the ball out of the strike zone.
So this is what a Cy Young Award pitcher looks like. 8 strikeouts through 4 1/3. Popped up. Randall Grichuk hits it high down the right side, and Ledmus Diaz gets there. The first baseman makes the catch in foul ground. Sam Gaviglio has retired all 9 batters he's faced, and Zach Godley is loosening up for the Blue Jays. Font went 2 innings. He allowed a walk and a hit. Sam didn't allow a runner to reach base. He retired all 9 men he faced.
Not bad for a guy who has come in for just the 2nd time this year after the opener. That's part of his job that he hasn't done a whole lot of. He has come in after the starter has gotten knocked out. But when they have scheduled an opener, Sam's only done it 1 other time. That was with the Daniel Hudson start earlier this season.
Billy McKinney flying out to right field, his only time. You know, Justin Verlander came into this game with a little extra motivation after being ejected in his last start. You only get to pitch every 5 days, and he didn't get a full day's work in. Off the glove of Diaz. Verlander is there. A nice play at first base by Ledmus Diaz. That's the hardest hit ball off Verlander so far in this game. Another 3-up, 3-down inning for the righty. Joining the club. Pitched a total of 13 innings. He's allowed 13 hits in those 13 innings. He takes over after Sam Gaviglio had 3 perfect innings of relief.
Boy, they're getting some pitching today. Zach Godley worked on Tuesday. He followed the opener by Wilmer Fott against Atlanta with 3 very good innings. Just had 4 base runners in that one, 2 walks and 2 hits. He was hitting on his breaking ball, and his fastball had a lot of life to it, like that first pitch right there to Jake Marisnick.
Zach's done a great job of retiring the first batters. He's retired 18 of 23 first batters. He was claimed off waivers on the 7th of August from Arizona. Diamondbacks DFA'd him on August 5th. Jake Marisnick, the number 9 hitter, grounded out to shortstop, his only time up. Little cutter foul back off the screen. Godley has been a starter for most of his career. He had a good season in 2018 for Arizona. He went 15-11, made 32 starts.
That's why I was shocked that he was available, that they DFA'd him. It wasn't that long ago that he had a very good season.
1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Doesn't sound like something Freddie Galvis would do. He ran across the mound, and pitchers, they take that very personally. It's their mound. Stay off of my mound.
I think they're just tired of each other. They played a doubleheader yesterday, and they're playing a doubleheader today. St. Louis and Cincinnati.
First day of September, everybody's nerves are a bit thin.
Plus, they don't like each other.
No, they don't.
Those two teams.
Jose Altuve has grounded out twice so far in this game. This is a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. Just 1 hit in the game. Quite a contrast from what we saw yesterday. The Blue Jays walked 9. They hit a batter. They gave Houston 10 extra base hits. In Houston, they too walked 4. Blue Jays won that game 6-4, but Houston was 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Game 1 in this series between the two teams, there were 20 runners left on base. Yesterday there were 15. A lot of base runners the first 2 games in this series.
Not the case this afternoon. There have only been 3 stranded so far in this game. Godley's got that cutter working, doesn't he? Started on the outside corner and it shot away from Altuve.
You got to put fastball in the mind of those hitters, and if you do that, then you can throw that pitch that looks like a fastball and watch that thing cut just a little bit. How far it goes off the plate, Altuve totally fooled.
2 away for Michael Brantley. Brantley is 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out. A bit bigger breaking ball there, more of a slider than the cutter. Brantley with 19 home runs this season. First time he has faced Zach Godley. Reese McGuire presents a very positive target behind the plate. Gives a sign to the pitcher and then really emphasizes where he wants that pitch. Right there. Blue Jays are in pretty good shape behind the plate. 2 24-year-old catchers, Danny Jansen and Reese McGuire. Bo Taylor has just joined the team. He's on the right talking with Danny Jansen. He was signed to Buffalo, and he has joined the teams. The rosters can expand today.
John Schneider has worked very hard. There's Schneid's right there. He has worked very hard with the catchers this year, not having them to help frame and block balls. You know, if you're trying to frame balls with runners on third base, he's like, and you see the ball in the dirt, you got to go down there and try and block it. Well, for the most part, they've done a great job.
Guerrero at shortstop throws to first, and as Stanley continues to put up zeros. Stanley with a good inning of work. He ties the side in order. Justin Verlander hasn't given up a hit.
Tape it up. Be ready. You might need him as a pinch hitter, pinch runner.
So Brandon Drury will lead things off here in the sixth. The Blue Jays don't have a hit against Justin Verlander. They have just one base runner, a first inning walk by Cavan Biggio. $14 in a row retired by Verlander. That high fastball, that's been a good pitch for him all afternoon. Well, they've all been good pitches for him.
He hasn't given up a hit. I've been impressed with him. He's one of the guys that, as the game goes along, he seems to get stronger and seems to have a little bit more in his tank as he sees the finish line. I remember the first no-hitter that he had. I believe it was against the Milwaukee Brewers. It seemed like the ninth inning he was throwing harder than he did in the second and third inning.
Now, that no-hitter was in 2007. His second no-hitter was right here at Rogers Center in 2011 against the Blue Jays, and I think he got better as the game went on in that game as well.
Stronger. His fastball was lighting it up in the ninth inning.
And a breaking ball, more of a curveball, and Derby strikes out. That's 9 strikeouts now for Verlander.
Had that streak snap like we told you about because he was kicked out of the game the last time out, a streak of 7 straight games with at least 10 strikeouts. Today he's doing it with his changeup, that time with the curveball, slider, fast. He's doing it with all of them. Got him working.
Reese McGuire goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Reddick almost in his tracks makes the catch. 2 away here in the 6th. You want to know how consistent Justin Verlander has been over his career? In his major league career, his record pitching at home is 110 and 60. Pitching on the road, it's 110 and 68. It doesn't make any difference where he's pitching. He's going to bring it every single day.
And we haven't even talked about the postseason. He seems to take it up a notch in the bright lights.
Oakland doesn't even want to think about Justin Verlander in the postseason. He robbed them of any opportunity to go to the World Series a couple of different times.
A .650 winning percentage in 25 career postseason appearances.
He's 13 and 7 in the postseason with the .319 earned run average. Think about that. Playing against the best teams each and every year, you got a .319 earned run average. Bo Bichette has struck out both times he's faced Verlander. Blue Jays trying to break through here. Good take on that hard breaking ball.
In the division series, he's undefeated. He's 7-0 in division series. That ties him with John Smoltz and Andy Pettitte for the most division series wins in Major League Baseball history. So you want to win game 1, that's the guy you're going to start.
Verlander was acquired in a last-minute trade, literally a last-minute trade, August 31st of 2017. And he had told the Astros, I don't want to be traded, I don't want to be traded, and then finally gave in a minute before the deadline in 2017. Ground ball towards second. Altuve goes in a hurry. 6 innings in the books. No hits allowed by Justin Verlander in 9 promotions. Friday the 13th. Why not? Zombie night. Alex Bregman is 0 for 1. He walked in the first inning. Missed one of 2 Astros to reach base. Aledmys Diaz had a leadoff double, and he was stranded at third. That was in the second inning. Ground ball, big hop for the shortstop, Bichette. Bregman's retired. Now a message from TD.
It's the confidence we get when we come together for our team. TD, proud fan and official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Blue Jays pitching has been equal to the task this afternoon, shutting out one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball, the Houston Astros. And there's a base hit. Dan Alvarez gets a single to center field. It comes with 1 out here in the 7th. Just the second hit of the ball game.
They have handled him in this series. They've walked him a couple of times, but they've kept the ball in the ballpark. A little sinker out over the plate. Doesn't sink enough as Alvarez slams it back through the middle.
He's now 2 for 10 in this series, and it's a crisp line drive into center. So now here is Aledmys Diaz. He has the other Astros hit. He takes a strike. Diaz hit a double down the left field line his first time up and had to hustle in. Brandon Drury made a good throw, but Diaz was in safely with a quick, hard slide. For Diaz, his 7th double of the season. Right in the middle of the back. No place to go if you're Diaz. Your first reaction as a hitter is to back up anytime there's anything inside, and he moved right into that.
Yeah, that sinker coming right at him. He's in the lineup at first base because of a hit batter, and that was Yuli Gurriel yesterday. That sinker hits him right square in the lower back, and there's nothing you can do about it.
So first and second now with 1 out. Abraham Toro, the 22-year-old from Quebec, has struck out both times he's come to the plate. He is now 0 for 6 in this series. Did not play in the opener on Friday night.
Go through a fresh set of signs right here. There it is. On the outside, that'll tell you which number we're using. Then they will go through the sequence with that runner at second base.
Fly ball hit to center field. Grichuk backing up. Alvarez going back to tag at second. He will move over, and they just throw it into the infield. Biggio comes off the bag at second. Grichuk just fired it back in a general direction of the infield. Alvarez moves over on the out. But now there are 2 outs. Diaz stays at first.
Good read by Alvarez at second base. That's one of the toughest plays, I think. That long fly ball in the gap, and he read it beautifully. Went right back to tag up. You can advance. Second time that they have had a runner to third base this afternoon.
Diaz was at third back in the second, but he was left there. Reese McGuire took a quick visit to the mound to talk about this at bat. Josh Reddick, a very good first ball fastball hitter. Be careful on the first pitch. And you start him out with a cutter. Scoreless ball game, top of the 7th inning. Justin Verlander hasn't given up a hit yet, and he has walked just one while striking out 9. Big swing and a miss by Reddick. It's a ball on the strike.
No fastballs for you. Reddick is a good fastball hitter, and he's hit very well in this ballpark.
Just in case they decide to start their runner at first, Reese McGuire is out with the first and third run defense. Oh, what a good pitch. Dropped that cutter on the outside corner. Went back door with him.
Not a bad idea.
Foul chip off the mitt. McGuire couldn't squeeze it.
Zach's got that sinker working today, and the cutter is making that ball go either direction against these hitters. Another outstanding two-seamer right on the corner. Just barely fouled right off the foot. Just barely got a piece of it.
1-2. Foul tip. Paul Emmel quickly signaled foul tip. Blue Jays bench is out, going to check on it. Reese McGuire appeared to turn around the dugout and said he foul tipped it. But Charlie Montoya says, Paul, would you check it? I had a foul tip. Emmel was quick in his reaction. He called a foul tip immediately.
Yeah, it also looked like, if I read his lips right, he said, I could hear it. I could hear it.
Foul tip is not a reviewable play.
Sounded like it.
It sure did, but Emmel was quick to call it a foul tip. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Just off the outside edge. In this day and age of strikeouts and home runs, there's nothing like a pitcher's duel.
Cutter to the outside corner, and it just went around the plate.
Full count now. Robinson Chirinos, the catcher, is on deck if Reddick can keep the inning going. Alvarez singled. He's at third. Melendez Diaz was hit by a pitch. He's at first.
Blue Jays in the full shift, so Alvarez is halfway down the line.
Foul out of play, and we'll do it again.
There is nobody at third base with Guerrero out at shortstop. So the runner at third base can walk as far as he wants, as long as he can get back to the base if the pitcher steps off.
The pitcher is the closest one to third. Another 3-2 pitch. Diaz at first will be moving on the pitch. There he goes. A little one-hopper to the shortstop, and that'll do it. What a job by Zach Godley. He gets Reddick to ground out. The Astros leave a pair, and we're still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the Astros, and Justin Verlander has not allowed a base hit. The only base runner to reach was Kevin Biggio. He had a walk with 1 out in the first inning, and here's Biggio. It's the first pitch just inside. I got to tell you, all these pitchers have been terrific today. Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, has had a heck of a game.
Yes.
He has really called a heck of a ball game. He has been consistent all afternoon for both sides. There's that high fastball again. Justin Verlander threw a no-hitter against the Blue Jays here on May 7th of 2011. He took a perfect game into the 8th inning. You got Mike McCoy to line out to center field in the bottom of the 8th, the first out of the inning. Then J.P. Arancibia had an extended at bat. I believe it was a 12-pitch at bat. Arancibia worked him for the walk. That was the only base runner. And that's the only thing that kept him from throwing a perfect game.
So he's got 2 no-hitters to his credit.
3-1 pitch. Foul back. There have only been 2 pitchers in the history of the game that have ever no-hit the same team twice. Addy Josh, pitching for the Cleveland Indians, no-hit the Chicago White Sox twice in his career. And Tim Lincecum of the Giants no-hit the Padres twice. Verlander's trying to do that to the Blue Jays here. Popped out of play.
Boy, a little something extra right there. 7th inning, 3-2 leadoff hitter. You can hear him grunting now. That last pitch, reached back for a little something extra. He struck out Biggio back in the 4th inning on an inside pitch.
Three-two. Calls strike 3. 10 strikeouts for Verlander. That inside fastball gets Biggio. That's the 66th double-digit strikeout game of Verlander's career.
He does it again with an inside pitch, a fastball that catches the plate. To put that in perspective, Nolan Ryan is the leader all time with 215 double-digit strikeouts.
They're the active leaders among pitchers with double-digit strikeouts. This has popped up. It's playable over near the dugout. Ledmus Diaz is there, and Guerrero is retired.
So Nolan's #1 with 215 double-digit strikeout games.
Yeah, and Nolan Ryan was in another class, and at the same time, we must mention that was in an era when hitters hated to strike out. But you look at the active starters, 10-plus strikeout games in their career: Scherzer, Sale, and Verlander. And then Kershaw, Kluber, and Strasburg. I mean, that's the cream of the crop in this day and age of pitchers. Dustin Smoke hits it high in the air. Marisnick calling for it early. 7 innings in the book for Justin Verlander. A scoreless game. Verlander hasn't given up a hit. Sam Gaviglio and Zach Godley have literally matched Justin Verlander pitch for pitch. There have only been 2 hits in the game. The Blue Jays pitchers have done a terrific job against one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball, the Houston Astros.
Beat them yesterday. They only gave up 4 runs on 6 hits yesterday, and they've only given up 2 hits today. I was talking to Charlie Montoya about his team. They just finished August against one of the best, toughest schedules in baseball. They went 12-15. He said he's very happy with the way that they have gone out there and competed, been in ball games. You know, he knows they're a little bit short right now, but he says, I love how my team is going out there every day trying to win.
1-1 pitch to Chirinos. Breaking ball in there for strike 2.
And that's how you build culture. You know, you talk about culture and all that kind of stuff. Well, what comes first? The winning? Does that come first, or the players? And right now, the players are trying to set the example of competing every single day to try and win.
Look out. That one got away from him. The late Bobby Maddock, who had so much to do with the success of this organization early on, always used to say, which comes first, winning or confidence? You have confidence before you can win, or do you have wins before you gain confidence? It's a difficult question to answer.
I think winners have confidence. So it starts with the players. It always starts with the players.
2-2. High fly ball to the left. Not a problem for Drury. Moves to his right, waits for it, and makes the catch. Chirinos is retired. Now a message from Expedia.
From the cities to the mountains, rivers, and lakes, get the best out of Canada with Expedia.
One out. George Springer has come off the bench as a pinch hitter. Springer is batting for Jake Marisnick, the starting center fielder.
Home run power with 29 of them.
Springer was 1 for 3 in the game yesterday. He was 2 for 4 in the first game with a home run and 4 ribbies.
And there's not a lot of history between Godley and the Astros, but there is a little bit between Springer and Godley.
Springer is 2 for 3 in limited at-bats. He went after it. A ball and 2 strikes. Godley has had that cutter zeroed in on the outside corner all afternoon. This is his 3rd inning of relief. Breaking ball bounced in the dirt. Godley pitched out of a tough situation in the 7th. Runners at first and third with 2 outs, and he got Josh Reddick to ground out to end the threat. Not many scoring opportunities for either club. Houston is 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. The Blue Jays 0 for 1. Yuli Gurriel not in the starting lineup. He was hit by a pitch in the elbow, and he was scratched just before the start of this game. He's one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Grounded to third. Backhanded by Guerrero. What a nice play. There's that work that has been paying off dividends. Guerrero comes after it and really was aggressive on that backhanded move.
See how he smothered that ball? That's what they've been working on with Louis, and he's going to get another back rub from Teoscar and a pat on the back saying, "Out of the way, coach. That's how you work with those youngsters." Watch how he comes in. It's going to be a short hop again. You come in and smother it. Down, out, up when you're picking that ball over at third base, and once he secures it into the glove, the rest is academic. He's got plenty of arm.
He's got a good arm, and arm strength and accuracy. 2 down. Teoscar say, "Man, you're doing a good job with those guys." Jose Altuve went after that first pitch breaking ball. He is 0 for 3 so far with a strikeout. I can tell you from experience, the catchers are having a good time in this game as well. You put down a finger, and it's almost academic that they're going to hit their spots. Both pitching staffs have been terrific. There's a base hit to left field. High breaking ball. Drury backhands it and gets it back into the infield quickly to hold Altuve to a single with 2 outs.
Boy, what a good play by Brandon Drury in the outfield. That is a tricky hop when that ball's coming out you in left field. He's a very good third baseman, and he fields that ball like a third baseman. Cutter that hangs up, and Altuve, tough to keep him down, but the play by Drury goes over, backhands it, short hops it, and now he can get it back in and hold him to a single.
Yeah, he made that look easy, but if he doesn't make that play, that ball goes to the wall. No telling where Altuve ends up. Now you got to keep your eye on Altuve. He's a threat to run. Brantley takes ball one. Bichette on the first base side of second. He would have coverage if Altuve breaks for second.
He was a big base stealer before the last couple of seasons. Altuve just 5 for 9 this year, but he's had a season where he had 50 steals.
Not running. Ground ball. This should end the inning. Bichette goes to first and puts up another 0. So go to the bottom of the 8th. What a ball game. No score in this game. Only 3. One struck out 10 over 7 innings. He's thrown 93 pitches. His velocity has been spot on all afternoon. His slider has been terrific. And the Blue Jays trying to scratch out a hit. George Springer, the pinch hitter, takes over in center field defensively for Houston.
20 in a row he has set down.
Verlander's had a terrific delivery and rhythm and tempo all afternoon. Rowdy Tellez has struck out both times he's faced Justin here. He is elevating that fastball. It's just 93, but he keeps it right at the top of the zone. It's not so high that hitters can identify that it's a ball quickly.
It's not a waste pitch. It's a purpose pitch. He's throwing it there for a purpose. Sometimes you see guys come out with their delivery and it's a waste pitch.
Strike 3 call. 95 at the knees. 11 strikeouts for Verlander. The one thing that you have to think about if you're the Blue Jays, Verlander gives up home runs. It's a scoreless game. Here's that 4-seam fastball right at the bottom of the zone.
From this side, right at the knees.
Verlander has given up 33 home runs. That's tied for the second most home runs allowed in the American League. Randal Grichuk is 0 for 2. Grichuk's got power, 23 homers this season. Iron Man Paul Emmel takes another shot off the chest protector.
It takes a licking, but he keeps on ticking.
What a game he has had. And umpires get into this as well. It's been a scoreless game throughout. And he's had a heck of a game, taking foul balls off the arm, off the shoulder, off the chest protector. 0-2. There have been 3 no-hitters thrown this season. Mike Fiers authored a no-hitter on May 7th against Cincinnati. And then the Angels and the Astros have combined no-hitters this season. 96 for another strikeout.
See what I mean about having that finish? Now you got a little bit more left in that tank where he can reach back for a little something extra. Now throwing harder now than he did at the beginning of the season, or at the beginning of the game. That's just a 4-seam fastball saying, here it is. I think I can beat you with it.
Billy McKinney has 9 home runs this season. Trying to get into the group of Blue Jays with double-digit homers. Just a little bit too high.
Billy had the best at-bat against Verlander today. He hit that scorching ball over the bag that Aledmys Diaz fielded and got over to Verlander to end the 5th inning.
That's the closest the Blue Jays have come to a base hit. Well, he takes a good hack at that fastball. Ken Giles loosening up for the Blue Jays. Alex Bregman, the scheduled leadoff hitter in the 9th. Bregman, Alvarez, and Diaz, 3, 4, and 5 in the Houston lineup. 103 pitches thrown by Verlander.
He has gone as high as 116 this year.
Well, he's not wasting any pitches right now. He knows he's up over 100 pitches.
He doesn't look tired to me. He still has it.
Two balls and 2 strikes. McKinney fouls off that breaking ball and loses the grip on his bat. That scattered the Astros in their dugout. We saw that earlier with Vladdy Guerrero throwing it in the other direction.
Get back down in that dugout. Get behind that screen. Breaking ball, and Billy loses the grip after he fouls it back. He's had a couple of pitches to hit in this at bat. A fastball and that breaking ball was up just a little bit.
Verlander's season high in pitches, 116. That was on the 19th of July in 6 innings against Texas. Curveball, strike 3. Verlander strikes out the side in the 8th. He drops that curveball in on Billy McKinney. He had thrown fastball after fastball in this inning. And the heart of the order for Houston. Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, and Ledmus Diaz. Giles picked up his 18th save yesterday afternoon with a good inning. He struck out the side in the 9th.
Couldn't pitch any better than he did to pick up that save. He had that slider working. The last batter that he finished off will be the first batter this afternoon.
Alex Bregman. Bregman is 0 for 2 with a walk. There have only been 3 hits in the game, all by the Astros. Diaz, Bregman, and Altuve. Ball on the strike. Bregman's strikeout was the first at bat he's had against Giles. That was yesterday afternoon. Broken bat, little looper. That's going to drop for a base hit. Bregman's around first. He's headed for second. Here's the throw. And Bichette comes off the bag to keep Bregman at second. A little flare down the right field line. A leadoff double here in the 9th.
His slider's been so good. He threw another good one against Bregman, but Bregman comes up with an extra base hit. Somehow he's able to cover that plate, get enough wood on it, and dump it into no man's land for extra bases. There's the Giles slider. Plate coverage. He shatters his bat and keeps it fair.
So now Yordan Alvarez, he had a base hit to center field in the 7th. That was off Zach Godley. No score in this game. Alvarez late on that fastball.
They are playing him to pull. And you should, if you look at those numbers. Even though Giles throws hard, they figure he's going to pull the ball.
He's late on that fastball.
On that one.
Can't get around.
There are the numbers. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. Tells us that any ball on the ground, the percentages say he's going to pull the ball on the ground. So the Blue Jays have the defenders in those pie shapes. Guerrero's going to back off just a little bit of third base. He's been tardy on the fastball, though. A little bit late.
Slider for the strikeout. Boy, he put it in a good spot. One away.
If it's not in a good spot, it's probably a ground ball to the right side, and that runner will advance to third base. You've got to get that thing underneath the bat where he swings over the top of it. You can't throw a better pitch than that.
One away. Melendez Diaz has been on base twice. He doubled and got hit by a pitch. He's officially 1 for 2 with a strikeout. He struck out against Sam Gaviglio to end the 4th inning. First pitch fastball is downstairs.
Blue Jays looking for another 0 and then take your chances to try and win at the bottom of the 9th inning. That's why the closer's in. Can't save a game at home in extra innings. Now he's trying to throw up a 0 and see if he can get the win if the Blue Jays can score.
Oh, what a block by McGuire. That ball was 3 feet in front of home plate, and he played it off his chest protector to keep Bregman at second.
John Snyder, the catching coach, was telling me today, he said, I'd worked with Reese on this. He said, I had him out in the bullpen. I turned up the pitching machine and bounced balls just like that to get him to go down. I don't want you to try and catch it. I want you to go down and try and block it. And that was a huge block right there.
Fly ball center field. Bregman is going back to tag. Grichuk makes the catch. Bregman's headed for third. Here's the throw to third. It is not in time. But that's the second out of the inning as Diaz flies out to center field.
And that's how big that strikeout was of Alvarez, the left-hander. The left-handed pull hitter, they struck him out, and he couldn't advance from second to third. He would have scored on that.
How about the wild pitch, the pitch in the dirt that McGuire blocked? If that one gets away from him, that's a run. We've talked about this in the past, how many people around baseball believe that the catcher should be credited for saving 90 feet on those tough blocks.
Right there, he saved a run.
This is Abraham Toro, the third baseman. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. First pitch slider. He's a free swinger. And they started him out with a breaking ball. Houston won the opener Friday night 6-4. Blue Jays won yesterday afternoon 6-4. Excuse me. Houston was 7-4 on Friday night. No score in this game. Top of the 9th. There's off that slider. This is just the 8th big league game for Abraham Toro. He's from Longueuil, Quebec. Justin Verlander has allowed just one base runner a first inning walk. And he has struck out 13. There's a fly ball to left field, and this ball's going to go. An opposite field home run for Abraham Toro. His second big league home run comes here in the 9th. And that's his family celebrating. He hit his first big league home run on Thursday against Tampa Bay and Emilio Pagan.
Only in the lineup because Yuli Gurriel was a late scratch, and he got the call today, and he came up with the biggest hit so far in this game. An opposite field 2-run home run to put the Astros ahead. And he does it on home soil, too.
He is from Montreal. His family and friends came over from Montreal for the series. Got here Friday night. His grandmother has been here. His mom, his sister Kimberly. And he has given Justin Verlander a 2-0 lead. Broken bat. Corral with another terrific play. Oh, my! What a play by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That ball was off the end of the bat, had a lot of English on it. But Justin Verlander will go to the mound pitching a no-hitter. The 11th time the Blue Jays have been no-hit going into the 9th. He's thrown 106 pitches over 8 innings. He's walked 1. That was a first-inning walk to Cavan Biggio. And Verlander in 2011 in early May.
Same type of game. He had all of his pitches working. Of course, he got the great fastball. There's the roundhouse breaking ball. He had it all working that afternoon. Same like today. The same type of game. His fastballs had a little something extra to it. He's been able to get his breaking ball, his secondary pitches over for strikes.
As we mentioned, the Blue Jays have been no-hit going into the 9th 11 times now. In the previous 10, they have broken up 5 no-hitters in the 9th. Of course, Len Barker threw a perfect game against the Blue Jays in '81. Dave Stewart no-hit the Jays here at Rogers Center. Justin Verlander, James Paxton, and Nolan Ryan also authored no-hitters against the Blue Jays. Oh, 0-2 to Brandon Drury. Off the end of the bat, Bregman is short. Fields fires one away. The Blue Jays have broken up no-hitters in the 9th inning 5 different times. In May of '81, they broke up a Burt Blyleven no-hitter. Lloyd Mosby hit a double with nobody out in the 9th. April 23rd of 2089, Nolan Ryan was throwing a no-hitter, broken up by Nelson Liriano, a one-out triple. Kurt McCaskill from Campus Casing, Ontario, April 28th, had a no-hitter, broken up by Nelson Liriano. Frank Viola of the Red Sox had a no-hitter broken up in the 9th inning by Devon White, a leadoff single in the 9th. And this season, on the 4th of April, the Jays were no-hit, a combined no-hitter by the Indians. It was broken up by Freddie Galvis, a leadoff single.
That was the Trevor Bauer game, pitching against the Blue Jays. Verlander trying to finish what he started. Boy, you see how he is reaching back for a little something extra.
Reese McGuire hit a fly ball to right field his last time up. The only base runner to reach against Verlander, Cavan Biggio, had a one-out walk in the 1st. That's a tough curveball right there. '24 in a row retired by Verlander. Another strikeout. That's 14.
You figure he was going to be up to something today because he got kicked out of his last game, so he's well rested and wanted to make a statement in this game. Well, he is one batter away from making a huge statement.
Robinson Chirinos with a trip to the mound to discuss this at bat. Bo Bichette is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Bichette's liable to be looking for a first pitch breaking ball. Got a fastball. Fouled it straight back. It's 96 here in the 9th.
He was throwing 93 in the 1st inning, 94. He just has that ability to find a little extra. Jose Altuve took a couple of steps to his left before this at bat, anticipating a ball
Verlander had 15 strikeouts on June 12th against the Milwaukee Brewers, and that was over 7 innings. He's got 14 strikeouts with 2 outs in the ninth. That's the Toro family. He lays off that high pitch, no swing, according to first base umpire Brian Blankbeam. A base hit, and the Blue Jays would bring the tie run to the plate. No mystery about what Verlander is doing right now.
No. Incredible.
They mentioned only 2 pitchers have no-hit the same team twice in their career. Addie Josh of the Indians no-hit Chicago twice. Tim Lincecum of the Giants no-hit the Padres twice, and Verlander's trying to match them. The only runs provided by Abraham Toro. Had a good cut. 119 pitches now for Verlander.
You know, the pitch before that was a slider, 2-2. He says, I'm going to go for it right here. 2-2. Reach back for a little something extra. 90 miles an hour with the slider, and he missed it. So he throws that fastball trying to end this thing.
3-2. Ground ball. Toro has it. A no-hitter for Justin Verlander. His 3rd career no-hitter. One of the best in the game. Justin Verlander no-hits the Blue Jays for a 2nd time, and that's the guy that gave him the run support, Abraham Toro. And it's only fitting that Toro made the final play of this ball game to wrap up the no-hitter for Justin Verlander.
We were talking before the game about, boy, are we going to see the good Justin Verlander? We hope we see the A guy here, because watching great pitching matchups, they're always fun. And, well, he was better than good. He was outstanding as he finishes it off against a tough hitter who's had 45 hits in his first 30 games. Verlander had to reach back for a little something extra. He gets the big game, the big start game. Toro with the home run. What an exciting game. His team needed a win, and he stepped up in a big way.
Justin Verlander acknowledged by the Blue Jay fans here at the ballpark. And you can't forget about the job that the Blue Jays pitchers did as well. It was scoreless into the ninth.
Classy act by all the Blue Jay fans, giving him a standing ovation before he heads in. We saw
bullpens coming in to congratulate Verlander. They had the day off.
We saw the Paxton no-hitter last season, and now we see the Verlander, same type of game. He was good from the first inning, and he didn't lose a thing for 9 innings.
So Houston wins the series 2-1. And what a game. A 2-run home run in the ninth, and then Verlander took it from there.
Reach back. He's going to hit it to the guy who gave him the 2 runs. Toro's going to finish it off. And Verlander has done it for the 3rd time in his brilliant career.
He's just the 3rd pitcher to no-hit the same team twice. He joins Addie Joss and Tim Lincecum. A historic day here at Rogers Center. Let's check in with Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie and Joe.